Nick, and I know we'll dive into probably a lot of this as we go through our conversation today, but I always like starting, back when you were younger, growing up. It's funny as I interview, real estate professionals, and there's usually always something that happens, whether it's the growing up, teenage years, college, something like that then impacts their real estate business into the future. So what was growing up like? Were you always an entrepreneur? Did you play sports? Kind of fill me in from, growing up to through your high school years, college years.
All right. So growing up, I grew up in Flushing, Queens, till I was about 11 years old. So I'm a New Yorker, hence the accent a little bit here, right? I don't sound like a Columbus guy.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Flushing till about 11. Then from 11 to like 21, till high school, actually, I was at Johns Hopkins University. No, at Paramus High School. Sorry. So I was at Paramus High School, and I played football there. I was like the captain of the football team. I played college football at Johns Hopkins. It was pretty good. I also played hockey, baseball. I was an athlete when I was younger. I was really good at sports, but I was always I was middle, like probably like always the fourth or fifth best player whenever I started. And then I became through hard work, right? And I was always an overachiever through working harder and through practice, buying football camps. Like I was like paying for my own football camps. I was trying to figure out ways to get better and always like surround myself with people that are either better athletes, better coaches, learning books. But how did I get into real estate? So
So
it's crazy because Greeks we're all about owning property, right? They're like, hey man, you have to own property. You have to own property. So my dad had a painting contracting business, and I helped him out when he was younger. And through that painting contracting business, I saw a lot of stuff like real estate agents working with them. And so I was like, okay, it's a pretty cool niche. But I never thought about getting into real estate until I moved to Florida when my brother and I started a painting contracting business down there. And then started working with a bunch of realtors there. And then I was like, you know what? This is an opportunity for me to learn. I didn't think I was going to get into real estate, but they always hired us before they put the house on the market. They interior designers or realtors were hiring us, and we were doing a great job with them. And then I was like, okay, this is pretty simple. It's getting the house ready for the market, preparing, and then becoming real estate, right? Owning property. We were painting a bunch of homes, and it just felt natural to me because I was in the painting business. Then then after that, when I moved to Columbus, Ohio, I got into the Subway franchise business. So I owned the Subway franchise from 2004 to 2017. So I went from Flushing, Queens, Paramus, New Jersey, to Baltimore, to Johns Hopkins University, to University of South Florida in Tampa, to Columbus, Ohio in 2004.
so
Yeah.
so did you? I want to kind of the transfer in college, was that for sports, or was it like what
No,
made
it
you want
wasn't
to
for
go to
sports. I
Florida?
tore my ACL in playing football. So I was like, I'm not going to become a doctor. I was at Johns Hopkins. And literally, I thought I was smart until I went to Johns Hopkins. I got into Hopkins, so apparently I was pretty smart. When I went there and I was like pre-med and going into the labs, I was like, no way. I didn't have the patience for the chem labs. But I always had this entrepreneurship bug, right? I was always like, I try to like my dad's business or starting businesses. I was always reading business books or sports books when I was 13 years old,
Even when you were
self-help book.
younger?
Even when I was younger, I was always doing that. So, I mean, by 18 years old, 19, I had a few jobs, but I started businesses when I was like painting business. I did some modeling and acting back then too, which was great. That was fun. That was a great experience also. And I just basically was an independent contractor since supporting myself since I was 18, 20 years old.
And was that something that with your dad having a painting business, is that something that he kind of passed on, like taught you, or was it like a
Oh,
conversation
no,
with
they
you?
didn't want us to. They don't want. They have no. I should have became a doctor and a lawyer. That's a Greek swan, right? You're a doctor or a lawyer. They want their kids. They don't want anything to do with the painting business or the restaurant business. A lot of Greeks own restaurants. They want their kids to do something else and be educated and go to college and become a professional, like a doctor or a lawyer, an attorney.
And what gave you that? I mean, what gave you that work ethic? So young, to pay for your own, football camps and things like that. I mean, most that wasn't me. Like I didn't think that way. Can you, I mean, was it just your environment? Was it like a friend that kind of, like, I don't,
I don't know what it was, but I think that at that when I looked at my dad, right, my dad and my mom, they both came here, didn't know the language. My dad was, I think, in his what mid he was in his mid 20s when he moved here, and with $50 in his pocket.
wow.
And the dude owned, like, he's retired now, but he did really well for himself. He had a painting business and didn't know the language. And I always thought to myself, I said, you know what? If he can come here and do that, what are my excuses? Right?
Mm,
We have all the capabilities. We know the language. We have everything at our fingertips, whatever information we want. I mean, we got Google. We want to learn something, we could do it, right? I was always inquisitive. Like, I don't know what it was inside me that I always wanted to learn about anything, just to become better at whatever I did, just become better and just become a better human too. Because a lot of times I think when you're younger, you want to become better, but then as I'm evolving now, I'm I'm learning, spirituality and everything. It's there's a bug inside me that keeps on wanting to learn. That's all it is. I can't explain it. Some people have it. You have it. You love learning. You love learning new opportunities. You like hanging out with people that are successful. It brings us all up, right?
yep.
So I think that's the common denominator in a lot of us that become successful. We're always learning.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're exactly right. And I think for me, I came from a small town, and, sometimes it's that small town mindset, but, really I got lucky with my first mentor, my only mentor. I've been with him since day one, but, he was young and successful, and, it just kind of opened my eyes to a different world that's out there. That's the potential, of it could be you, it could be me.
Mhm.
So you transferred down to Florida, right? Did you finish out
Yeah.
your degree?
You know what? No, I didn't. I had like 15 credits left. My brother and I started a painting business, and we started doing really well. We were painting like really high end luxury homes. Talking
Okay.
about, like, back then, this was in 2000, like $2 to $3 million homes, and we got into a con. We got work with a contractor who was actually the head GC for the Bartolo family. The
Okay.
Bartolo family, the guys that used to own the 49ers, and we became their painters. This is when we were younger. I was 22 years old then. And we did well. We did really well. And then 2004, I met my then wife, and then I moved here in 2004.
Okay. So you come to Columbus. At that point, you just shut down the painting. Like, did
Yeah,
you
so
have a little over?
I left my brother. I moved here, and then I moved here for the wife, and then the Subway opportunity came, and I opened up a Subway franchise.
Okay, for sure.